With the arts, you can have something of world importance that will come from the smallest of communities.
Studies have shown that people who engage in the arts are better neighbors, better citizens, and are more tolerant. Arts and cultural activities are at the heart of communities. They can foster a sense of pride and shared accomplishment, and encourage cultural literacy and interaction with diverse populations. MAC has engaged northern and culturally specific communities for over 25 years. The Council celebrates artists and organizations who contribute a unique voice and artistic practice to Manitoba's rich cultural landscape.
The first MAC grant that I got was the Aboriginal Arts Creative Development Grant, and it would allow me to focus strictly on that project that I wanted to do. In my case, it was to produce a series of works that I could show as part of an art show that would be part of a traveling exhibition. Part of what I could give back was to talk a lot with the youth and around the community, with different clubs as well as school, on the importance of education and educating yourself and trying to break through the social kind of barriers that we have, especially up in the north, because a lot of them are isolated and do have a lack of resources available to them. You know, there are people on the way who do want to help you, but if you don't have the education and the confidence to go out and share your ideas, then they're not gonna get that from you.
When I started writing and publishing, there were no French publishing houses in Manitoba. I had to go elsewhere to have my first books published. But there was this personal determination that this is what I wanted to do. What the Manitoba Arts Council did, not only for the individual writer, through their grants, but through grants awarded to publishing houses, made it possible for publishing houses to exist in Manitoba, to survive in Manitoba, and to concentrate on something that's very particular, Manitoban writing. And in my case, even, in a sense, even more specific, Franco-Manitoban writing. In a minority situation, culture is essential, because if you only have a language, for example, you only speak French, and you don't have a culture that's apparent around you, you don't really exist. You're basically speaking a dead language.
The arts can help people come together in a common understanding, often creating a sense of pride for one's community, be it cultural or geographical. Award-winning filmmaker Guy Madden created an international awareness of his hometown with the release of his 9th feature film, My Winnipeg.
I wanted to make up for a sad lack of Canadian self-mythologization, and I started doing it right off the bat. And I just think that Canadians, probably more than almost any other country in the world, suppress our own mythology, and as a result we haven't had much of an identity. And so much of what we know about our cultural history and everything has always been determined by a culture's artists. When you think of it going back to ancient Egyptian art and Greek vases and everything, you know, art history is history. And so it may seem odd to think of ourselves as living history, but we are.
Art is essential practically to health.
Participating in artistic exploration and discovery can help keep people healthy. Nigel Bart is the founder of Artbeat Studio, an organization that believes the arts and health are intrinsically related.
I was diagnosed with schizophrenia 14 years ago, and I ended up working in my mom's pottery studio and finding that it really helped me recover. And recovery is an ongoing process. One of the things I always say about art especially is that you can speak through your art, and that sometimes people with mental illness are unable to express things that need to be expressed, either visually or in any capacity that art is, they can express themselves. So that's very important in healing. Like if you can't express your story then the healing doesn't take place.
A small investment in arts and culture has huge benefits, not only for the well-being of the population, but also in terms of economic developments.
For over 40 years, MAC has helped develop a thriving arts community in Manitoba. Today, with an annual operating budget of $9.5 million, MAC receives approximately 900 applications per year and awards 500 grants through the peer assessment process. Investments in the arts are quickly returned to the economy. Once funded, arts organizations immediately spend money on salaries and domestic goods and services to put programs into action.
Just to mount one exhibition cost me personally around $15,000. Where does that $15,000 go to? It goes to the guy who's making the canvas. It goes to the shipping company. It goes to the paint company. It goes to the lumber yard. It goes to the carpenter who builds the stretchers. It goes to the brush company, and it's a lifetime of expenditure and investment in the community around me.
The cultural industry is one of Canada's largest. It accounts for 600,000 jobs and contributes more than 7% to Canada's annual GDP.
You finally finance a movie with or without the help of the government. The amount of employment, that's just money that's going straight into the economy, plus secondary effects as well when that money is in turn spent within the community.
Art and culture of all kinds is a huge economic booster. There's all kinds of spin-off from the small, because essentially that's what it is, the small grants that are given to individuals and organizations. I mean, we're talking about millions and millions of spin-offs in terms of dollars in Manitoba alone.
It's usually through art that a country's identity is confirmed. Art, whether it's the kind of hermeticized art that we all just first think about, when we think of abstract paintings hanging in a gallery, or whether it's kind of art that just pops up that's half art and half professional craft that pops up in commercials or rock videos or things like that. All that stuff adds up to defining us as a people. And there's an almost immeasurable trickle-down effect.
I think that the arts plays a very important role in society of inspiring people, of pushing them to think and to feel more than they normally would.
The experimentation of art is like research and development that someone might do in a lab or someone might do to develop a new product. With funding from MAC, it allows artists to experiment and maybe, develop a new art form.
The arts and culture are absolutely evidence of our humanity. And for us to think it's something extra, or that it's a frill, or that it's something that we shouldn't support, or that we as a society don't need, if we lose our art and we lose our culture, we lose our humanity.